Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great day. Obviously, Bitcoin's up today. Also, the U.S. banned Russian oil imports, so I was surprised that Bitcoin was up because of that. But the markets were also up for more majority of the day, but they came down later on towards the close. So we won't take a look at that, but we will take a look at obviously the miners, see how Bitcoin did today. We'll also take a look at February production updates for Hive, DIGIHOST, and IREN Energy. And as always, this is not financial advice, right? Do your own research, don't fall for scams. I'm investing in the following companies and coins for full disclosure, so you guys are aware of that. So let's take a look at the miners here, and then we'll take a look at the data that we have on production for the miners as well. So let me share that screen with you guys. There it is. So ANE was actually down today, 0.52% to $1.92. It's down again in the after hours, another 1.56%. So that's Sphere 3D, obviously. Argo was actually down as well, 0.27, down to 75 cents. Bitfarms was actually up 3.41% to $3.34. Cleanspark was up nicely today, 10.99% to $10.10. Core Scientific was up really nice today. It was up 14.49% to $7.19. DigiHost was down actually 1.5% to $2.62, and DMG was up 6.99% to 46 cents. Hive was actually up 4.24% to $1.72. Hut 8 was down, up actually 3.04% to 508. Iris Energy was up 3.52 to 14.99, and Marathon was up 4.05% to $22.35. Mawson was actually down 1.97% to $2.98, and Riot, last one here, was up 1% to $15.10. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here, see how it did on the day. It actually had a pretty good day today. It was up from its low here. So if we look at the daily chart here, we can see that we were up approximately 2% on the day, so that was pretty good. It was an increase of $755 to $38.38. $38,655 on the day. We are obviously still trending up here on the hour. Let's take a look at the hour chart here and the RSI. So just looking at it quickly here, I didn't do too much investigating into it, but RSI is at 53. Last time we were here at 53, right around there. It's trending flat right now, which could be a good sign. If we also go back far enough here, we were lower, so we're actually having an increase in price on the hourly chart, while the RSI is staying flat basically. This tells me that we could be poised for a little bit of a run up here in the interim, but we'll obviously have to see how that plays out. On the 4-hour chart, we're also looking flat, and on the daily chart, we're kind of looking flat here in the last day or two, last couple of days. The only thing is we're here on the RSI, and last time we were here, so we still have a negative or a decrease in price while RSI is standing flat, so you got to be mindful of that. We may go up on the hourly chart a little bit more, but we may come back down and test our support here at 38,750, I think it is. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum was up also today to it's at 2,574 right now, and the same thing could be said for the RSI on Ethereum, where we could on the daily chart go down a little bit lower, while on the 1-hour chart we are probably looking to go up a little bit. And excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. All right, sorry about that. So let's take a look at Bitcoin's hash rate right now. And we are still kind of bouncing in this. We're kind of almost going sideways here, it looks like, for the last couple of weeks. We haven't really hit a new high here. It doesn't look like it in a while. So that's interesting to see. And let's take a look at the news here. So we got, obviously, Hive providing their updates for February production. And here are the numbers. So the company's global Bitcoin and Ethereum mining operations for the month of February 22, with a BTC HODL balance of 2,374 Bitcoin as of February 28th. So we know that. To clarify, the company's recent press release of March 7th, our planned 1,000 megawatt Texas facilities with Compute North could operate up to 4 exahash per second of new generation ASIC miners. So they did provide that, and I think we touched on it yesterday or the day before in the video, and they were saying they're going to have about I think calculated was coming out to be about 850 petahash. On what they were reporting they're going to be buying, they reported 1.9 exahash and 95% increase from that. So a 95% increase from that would be about 850 or close to 900 petahash increase on that. So they are saying that they do have obviously room to grow in that to another 4 exahash, which would be nice as well. So here's a production update. So 244.4 BTC produced, 1.9 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity. And then they also produced 1,814 Ethereum, increased Ethereum mining capacity from 4.56 to 4.88 terahash during the February, so that's good as well. HODL position grows to 2,374. And then this is the part that we kind of keep an eye on. So the company sold Bitcoin equivalent production, which includes their Ethereum mining converted over to Bitcoin. This was what it would be. So it would be 377.1 BTC equivalent produced, 13.5 Bitcoins equivalent produced per day, 2.84 exahash of BTC equivalent hash rate, BTC hash rate plus equivalent Ethereum hash rate as of February 28th. And then here's some updates from them. So the Bitcoin network difficulty increased as much as 5%, and similarly, the Ethereum network difficulty was stable during the month of February. These factors impact our growth, profit margins. Excuse me. For the second consecutive month in February, our production would have been slightly higher than actuals, if not for the continuing curtailment of energy during the month under our agreement with Quebec Hydro. The seasonal curtailment continued to affect numerous crypto mining companies operating in Quebec, along with Hive. In addition, in New Brunswick, we continued to experience, as expected, a temporary seasonal rise in energy prices. So we're hearing this from, obviously, quite a few of the miners that are out there. They are obviously turning off the miners when it gets really cold to provide electricity for nearby homes and businesses. They did comment here on at the market offering. This is the one, I believe that's on the Canadian exchange. They did convert some of those shares over to Canadian dollars, 15.12 million at a price of Canadian $4.30. They did also provide the conclusion of it at the market offering that was done last year on February 2nd, 2021, allowing the company to issue and sell up to 100 million. So they are done with that as well. They did, they sold basically 27.2 million common shares under the ATM program for aggregate proceeds of almost $100 million here. On that, let me see if there's anything else here. Nope, that's it. So let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and then we'll get into DigiHost and Iris Energy as well. So take a look at Hive. Turn that off. Okay. So 377.1 Bitcoins mined, equivalent basically. In January they had 425, so that's a decrease of 47. That's a lot. A decrease of basically 11% from the previous month. So there's a big decrease. Obviously, they did have a pretty good record here of going up, except you could see it going down here. They were 13% increase from October to November, and then November to December was a slight increase of 8.74. But they've been going down on that, and that's basically because I think, one, obviously, the hash rate is increasing, and they are not getting enough miners installed quick enough to combat the increase in hash rate, and obviously difficulty and things like that. Price going down as well. But when you're looking at Bitcoin mined, how much they're generating Bitcoin per day, that has to do with how many miners they have compared to what the hash rate is of the overall miner market. So we have that. So equivalent would be about 16.2, almost 16.3 million in revenue combined. I have them here at 16.1 million for the operations here, and that includes adding the new miners here, the 100 terahash miners, about 300 of them, to increase their overall hash rate to 1.9 exahash, which is what they reported, just on the Bitcoin mining part of it. And I did lower their days that they mined to 27 here, just to be seeing that they did obviously have to curtail a little bit on the electricity part. So we're pretty close to what they're saying. We're off by only about 100,000 or so on that. So we're pretty close to what they reported if we use the numbers that I have for Bitcoin at the end of February. So pretty close to that. What else do we have here? Oh, BTC HODL, obviously 2,374. That equates to, I should probably update the price. What's the current Bitcoin price right now? It's a little bit higher. I think it's 38,72. So let's update that, and we'll get a little bit better number on it. It's 3872. We'll go with that. 38,720. Roughly, where's Hive? There they are. Okay. So that's basically 9.83% of their market cap. Their market cap is about 935 million. And the share price, I forgot to update the share price on these guys. So the share price is going to be off. I forgot to do that. I'll get that done after the video and post it on the Patreon page for you guys. So that will be updated. But obviously the price is off because Hive was up a little bit today. Nonetheless, we're looking at right now, combined for the last 3 quarters and this quarter, which we're looking to be about 48 million or so. If things just remain where they are, January and February are pretty much in the books. March obviously is going to depend on how many miners they get installed, along with the price of Bitcoin, where it ends up at the end of the month. That could obviously go up or down, but right now we're looking at about 48 million total for the 3 months, which gives us a combined total of 226 million revenue for the last 4 quarters. 50% discount on that, and a price earnings multiple of 20. We're looking at a stock price of $3.99. And if we're using 75% net income from gross revenue and price earnings multiple of 20, we're looking at a stock price of $5.99. So in my opinion, they are undervalued right now. If we bring this down, we can possibly see, I mean, they're $1. Yeah, I mean, they're way undervalued. Price earnings multiple is less than 10 on them. It should be higher, closer to maybe 15. Yeah, I would even say maybe 12, if not higher than that. What else can I tell you guys? Yeah, so they still have obviously a lot of miners to go. Their current hash rate is at almost 4 exahash. So they do have room, obviously, with the Compute North agreement that they might be signing. That would get them up to approximately 8. And it would be like almost 9 combined exahash if you're using the GPUs as well. I did have to lower the GPU petahash on here. I had it, I think, at 1030 petahash. But from what they reported at being at 2.84 combined with 1.9 exahash in Bitcoin mining, I had to lower this down. And it could be because obviously the difficulty has increased in Ethereum mining as well. So that's going to lower the equivalent part of it to Bitcoin being compared. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah, and let's see here. They did obviously increase miners by about 300, hash rate increased by about 30 petahash. So a slight increase, but nonetheless an increase. They do still obviously have a lot of miners to get installed here. And they did obviously announce that they're going to be purchasing the Intel miners, which we just don't know how many they're buying them. And I think the terahash on those is going to be 135, I believe. So we'll just have to know how many they're buying and when those are going to get installed to add to the list here. Also going forward, I'm going to probably combine some of these that are already filled in here, the ones that are mining at least, the months here. I'm going to combine it just to shorten this down a little bit because it is pretty long right now. And we do have a lot of miners going into it, so I will combine those. If you see that in the coming videos, those will be combined into just one entry instead of having 7 entries going into it. We'll combine them and make it a little bit easier to read going forward. All right, so pretty good job by Hive. Obviously, I'm happy to see that they are obviously growing, that they're increasing their hash rate going forward. They're thinking about that, obviously, and working with Compute North. That is obviously making me very happy. I'm sure all of you guys are happy about it as well because that's what we want to see. We want to see growth. Obviously, if they're not growing, they're going to be making less money month to month to month as time goes by. So they got to grow, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at DigiHost. So DigiHost reports 45% year-over-year increase on Bitcoin production and provides mining operation update. So here's the information. The company mined approximately 50.85 BTC in February 2022, an increase of 15.83 BTC or 45% compared to February 2021. So obviously nice growth for them over the year from the year prior. So they mined obviously 50.85 BTC during the month, contributing to a total holdings of 737.66 BTC, valued at approximately 31.87 million as of February 28th, based on the BTC price of 43,200. They still have their Ethereum holdings of 1,000.89, valued at approximately 2.9 million as of February 28th as well, at a Bitcoin price of 2,900. Obviously, Bitcoin's down a little bit from that. Total digital asset mining, 34.7 million. The company deployed miners during the week of February 28th, 2022, expanding its compute power by 20% to approximately 500 petahash, which is great. It's a nice increase for them. They're obviously a pretty small miner, so this is obviously going to be a huge increase for them. Michael Amar, the company CEO, commented at the end of February and into the first week of March, DigiHost continued to execute on its strategy of increasing the company's operating capacity by deploying new miners and expanding our hash rate by 20%, approximately 500 petahash. The company anticipates further expansion of computing power in the months ahead as well. All Bitcoin miners received to date, plus those in transit, are deployed. So that's all great news. Miner receipt and deployment updates. So as of February 20th, the company has received 9,000 of its technologically advanced high-performance M30 Bitcoin miners from its 2021 order of 9,900 miners, with remaining 900 miners currently in transit to DIGIHOST data centers. So they have all the miners here. So when we look at the data, it's just a matter of when they get those installed and how quickly they can get them installed. So, and that is it. So nice increase by them as far as expansion goes here, getting those miners installed. So let's take a look at DigiHost. So here's what we got. DigiHost obviously mined 50.85 Bitcoins for the month of February, value of approximately 2.2 million roughly. It is a decrease of 11.73 less than the prior month of January. And it is about 18.74% decrease. So that's pretty substantial decrease, obviously. So they're not keeping up with miners getting installed in time, obviously. But here's the reason why. They said that they were installing the miners at the end, last week of basically February. So I only have them mining for 4 days to get me to right about where they should be at 2.19 million here on these. I also lowered these numbers for them for 1 day, probably because they had to shut down as well, as most miners did. So our numbers match up here with this one and that one. But going forward, these obviously are going to be working a heck of a lot longer. So they did obviously provide us that they did have 9,000 of all of these miners already in. So they still have quite a bit to install here. If we look at the numbers on these, we can see that, don't want to do that. Oh, why did that? Didn't want to do that. Oh, always something. All right. There we go. And something got messed up on me here. Why did this go down to 1.9? That is strange. Let's do this. Control Z, Control Z. There we go. Okay, now we're back. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulties. So they do have, obviously, these miners here left to install, which is approximately 6,310 miners, which would give them an extra almost, what is that, 644 petahash. So almost, it would double them. And then they're going to be pretty much done for as far as miners are concerned. So we'll have to see if they are getting new miners in or not, because otherwise they are going to be pretty much full operational within the next couple of months when they get the rest of these installed. Could be even operational within the next month or two with all of them. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And let me see what else is there. There's that. And so based on the information that we do have, obviously, for them, if we look at the numbers here, we can see that they're going to be possibly making about 7.3 million for the quarter. And that would give them a total of 24 million for the last 4 quarters. The last 3 quarters would be 17.4. And then this quarter would be 17.3. So we're looking at 12.3 million of revenue for the last 4 quarters. Using the 50% net income from gross revenue with a price earnings multiple, we have them at 10. They would be at 329. They are a little bit over 2 something right now, I believe. And we're using the price earnings multiple of 10. If we use the price earnings multiple of 20, that would be obviously quite a bit higher at $6.59 and $9.88. But the reason we're using 10 is because they aren't growing that much. And unfortunately, when you don't grow, don't have huge growth ahead of you, a lot of times the investors aren't as interested in it. So they're going to give you a little bit lesser of a price earnings multiple than you normally would get if you're like Marathon or Core Scientific or some of these other guys that are growing really fast and getting really big. So we're using 10 on them just to be fair. And we could possibly go up to 20 and just make it fair for everybody. But I think a lot of you guys have said in the past that 10 does seem pretty fair. On that, so that's what we're looking at, possibly 494 to 329. So still undervalued in my opinion. And we would like to obviously see them grow their hash rate or figure out a way to do hosting with somebody else, get more miners in, and we'll keep an eye on it, see how it plays out. And I think that would be it for them. Oh, and their hodl position is 737 Bitcoins. It is obviously 28% of their market cap. right now, and that is because they are small and basically undervalued, in my opinion. So that's it. Yeah, great job for getting those installed by them, and then just we'll have to see how they, in the next couple months, get the other ones installed, the rest of them, and if they have anything else planned going forward. And let's take a look at Iris here. So Iris Energy, so they're providing limited announces. Iris Energy Limited announces monthly investor update for February 2022. There's some pictures of their data centers going up, the internals of it, and then them supporting a team. So a leading substantial Bitcoin miner, which is building an institutional-grade infrastructure platform with 15 exahash of secured miners, 10 exahash expected to be operational by early 2023. Today published a monthly investor update for February 2022. And if we look at it here, here's the report. So reported inaugural quarterly earnings for the period ended December 31st, 2021, including record revenue of $20 million, which is a 93% increase over last year or the year prior. So this is obviously good here. And then Cantor Fitzgerald initiated research coverage on the company during the month with an overweight rating and a price target of 25 per share versus the closing price of 14.42 per share as of March 4th. So we'll take a look at that, see where I have them at, and see where he has them at. Irish Energy total expected power capacity increased to 795 megawatts following an increase of 30 megawatts expected capacity at Mackenzie site. So that's good. So they're obviously preparing for more growth. Operation-wise, they are at 844 petahash average operating hash rate in February, 5% increase, which is good. They did mine 110 Bitcoin mined, which is a 12% decrease due primarily to 3 less days in the period and an increase in the network difficulty, generating monthly operating revenue of $4.5 million. So then you have a bunch of updates here on construction in Mackenzie, Prince George, Childress County, and then corporate updates. Let me see what else was there. Canal Flats, Mackenzie update, Prince George update. A lot of updates here. You guys can read those at your leisure. And there was something else down here on the bottom. So yeah, so obviously they still have a lot of miners that are going to be getting installed. We can see it here on the list. We are at 8,527. I have them at a little bit higher than they are, but pretty close to what they're saying in their hash rate is right now at 844 petahash. So we'll take a look at that. And I think there was something else. Nope, that was it. That was it. So let's take a look at my numbers here on Iris. And so here's the hard part. I'm having a hard part with something, and I'm trying to figure this out, how this could possibly work out. So they reported 110 Bitcoins mined in the month, which is obviously a decrease of 16 and 12.7% less than the prior month. For, like they said, less days in the month, obviously difficulty increases as well. So that's partially to it. But here's what I'm coming up with. So at 110, I'm getting 4.7 million on it. They're reporting 4.5. So I don't know which number they're using on it, if I'm correct here. Revenue of 4.5. I don't know. So obviously they're using a different number than I am for the value of Bitcoin, because I'm using February's end price, which was, if we look at the settings here, was 43,192. So I don't know if they're using a different number. But if they're using that number of 4.5 million, then that would make sense here. I have them at 4.497, so we're really close to what they are actually reporting. So that would be okay. So I'm trying to figure out what number they're using on the Bitcoin price at the end of the month, or how they're calculating it, because obviously it's off a little bit. Well, it's off by about 200,000, so I want to keep it as close as possible. But right now it looks like we're on the numbers mined. We're looking really good here. So I did add these miners here, 400 and 230 of these. These are the 100 terahash miners, and they are obviously in for the month. And they've been basically mining 28 days to get us to this number of 4.5 million, which they reported as well. So we're looking good there as well. And the 4.8 here on the previous month, I got them at 4.76. So we're really close to what they're reporting, which is good. And let's take a look at the numbers here that I have for them. So for the combined numbers right now, January through March, we're looking at possibly 13.7 million, depending obviously where Bitcoin ends up on this month. And that's going to change whether it goes up or down, and how many miners they get installed as well. So those miners that were installed last month are obviously running through this month, which will have 31 days. That's obviously going to increase their revenue here, or at least it should. and I'm showing 4.64. Yeah, so it is an increase on it. Actually, it's a decrease. Why is that a decrease on it? Oh, because the Bitcoin price is down from where it was. Yeah, that's why. So if Bitcoin goes up, obviously that's going to go up. But if everything stays the same, we're looking at 13.7 million. Last 3 quarters is 34.9, almost 35 million. So combined total of 48.7 million. 50% net income from gross revenue would be 24 million. Price earnings multiple of 20. We're looking at a stock price of 889, and 75% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at a stock price of 1333, and they are at. Let's take a look at where Iris is at right now. Iris is at 1499. So obviously, I'm thinking they're a little bit overvalued right now, just barely, based on that information. But they are obviously growing quite a bit this year and into next year, so they do have pretty good plans for that. And I think that initiated ratings or coverage on them with $25 rating is helping them get up higher possibly. But right now, just on what they're making, I would say they'd be closer to 1333 would be where I'd like to see them. Right now at the current price of Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin goes up. That's going to change as well. But yeah, not too bad right now. HODL, they didn't provide anything for a HODL position on them. I don't think they HODL anything. We'll have to see on their quarterly reports if they HODL anything, but I think they use their Bitcoins to fund operations because I haven't seen anything on them as far as how much they're HODLing. And let me see if there's anything else here. No, right now we're just getting all these miners in. Obviously, they have quite a few miners that are scheduled to be still installed. They still have about, 5,182 miners scheduled to be installed. They need to be installed, and then we still have these miners here that haven't been in Q1, that haven't been even touched yet. And we got a bunch of Q2, Q3, and Q4 miners that need to be installed, and then we're getting into 2023 with the miners as well. So a lot still to do for them. They still have a long ways to go, so I'm not surprised that the stock price is obviously reflecting the growth in the company. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys thought of it all. As always, there's a lot of information here, and the spreadsheet's available to my Patreon members. If you want to get it there, you can. Help support me. That appreciate that. Let me know what you guys thought of the numbers. Obviously, pretty good numbers by Iris along with Hive. Pretty good growth from DigiHost as well, but they're getting close to being almost fully installed. So we want to see if there's any news from them as far as if they're going to be installing more miners down the road. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of it all. And then we'll continue this on. I think I have only one left miner to provide the information for February, which is Mawson, I believe. Mawson is always the last one to kind of provide the information. Last time they provided the information, it was like the 15th, so might be another week before we get the information from them. Once we have the information, then we'll do a miner versus miner comparison, see where things stand. So that's coming up in maybe a week or so. Other than that, we'll see what's going on in the news tomorrow. We'll take a look to see if there's anything else that's interesting. And if you enjoyed the video, obviously hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously, and that's all I ask from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.